All right, guys. Wow, that is loud. Hey, my name is Josh Arcemont. Like Randy said, I've been invited here for the past 8 years, and every year this event lands on my birthday. And so I always have plans for my birthday, and so I can never make it. But this year, my birthday was on Tuesday. So I turned 47 on Tuesday, and I said, you know what, let's make it happen, the 10th anniversary. I'm excited to deliver this topic today on emotional intelligence, to be a more effective leader. This is a topic that's dear to my heart because I feel like I have a very diverse team. We have 2 martial arts schools. My youngest instructors are teenagers, obviously, but I've got 20-year-olds, I've got 30-year-olds, 50, and one of my best instructors is 71 years old. So I have a team that's kind of diverse, and I really like having that diversity on my team. So we're going to go over some things today that maybe you've heard before, maybe you've never heard before, but get ready, take some notes, because I guarantee you guys are going to come away with some good takeaways. So we'll go to the next slide. So what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, to me, is basically understanding yourself and your own emotions, labeling those emotions correctly, and that's half of it. The other half is understanding others, other people, and their emotions. A lot of times, we know this as instructors, the way we like to be taught isn't necessarily the same way our students like to be taught. The way we communicate with other people isn't the same way they like to be communicated with. So let's go to the next slide. So why does this matter? When I first heard this, I was like, what does it matter? Emotions? I'm a leader. Leaders are strong, not emotional. But it does matter. So here's some of the top reasons why. 90% of top performers have high EQ, which stands for emotional quotient. According to research by the Talent Smart, EQ is responsible for 58% of job performance across all types of jobs. People with high EQ earn an average of $29,000 more a year. EQ accounts for 80 to 90% of the competency that distinguishes top leaders from average ones. And I could go on and on. I mean, you can look at here. These are stats. Harvard University. People with high EQ have lower stress and are 75% likely to experience burnout. It's not IQ that matters. People with high IQ don't always relate to people, and it's the relationships that make us effective leaders, great instructors, and so on. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is interesting. So in my research, I found that there are 9 types of intelligence. So I'm going to read them off. And as I'm reading them off, you're probably going to relate to a few of these. So number 1, the number 1 type of intelligence is spatial intelligence. Understanding where you are in time and space. Right? So my wife does not have a high level of spatial intelligence. We can walk into a mall, like literally walk into the mall, right? Take a right, go into the first store, shop. As soon as we come out, she's like, which way do we go? She has no concept of where we are and where do we go from here. Me, I can drive 100 miles to a destination and find my way back without looking at a map. Spatial intelligence, okay? The second type is naturalist. These are people who are good with nature and understand living things, right? They have that green thumb, right? Me, I don't have that. Musical. Anybody play instruments in here? I learned this when I was in middle school. I wanted to play the drums so bad. I got a drum set. I took private lessons. I'm working the drums for 2 years. I finally got a drum recital. So I get on stage and I'm playing my drums and I'm so proud of myself. I'm playing this little thing. And then the next kid comes up who's my age. He's been playing for 2 years, and he has a drum set, and he's just going to town on that drum set. That's when I realized I don't have the musical gift. Some people just have an ear for it. You know what I mean? So musical intelligence. Logical is the next one. Mathematical. You mentioned you're a math guy. You're a numbers guy. I'm not. I got to have the spreadsheets because I can't remember. People say, what are your numbers? I don't know. Let me look at my spreadsheet. Some people have it. It's that mathematical logic. The next one is existential, which is just like tackling the questions of why we live and why we die, the philosophy, right? The next one's important when it comes to emotional intelligence. And this one is intrapersonal intelligence. These are people who are good with other people. They know how to talk to other people, relate to other people, feel what that person is feeling. It's a type of intelligence that you might have, or you may not, but you can work on it. We'll come back to that in a second. The next one, this is all of us. Kinesthetic intelligence. Martial artists. This is why we gravitated towards martial arts. I remember in school, math was not, I wasn't a very good student in school. I didn't make good grades. But as soon as I got into martial arts, my instructor would show me a move once. I'd look, okay, you mean like this? Yeah, got it, good, go. And it was just like second nature. I was like, okay, this is what I'm good at. So kinesthetic intelligence. Man, you're on cue. This is good. Every time I look over, you've got linguistic intelligence is the next one. These are people who are good at speaking. They can get on stage. They can speak. They always have the right words. They're usually very social because they have that type of intelligence. Believe it or not, that's not me. I'm an introvert by nature. Being on stage and being in front of people, oddly enough, is not my comfort zone. I don't feel like I have the linguistic intelligence. All right, the next one, intrapersonal. Intrapersonal intelligence is understanding yourself. What makes you tick? Why are you the way you are? You know, I love that analogy of the instructor gives the student a lemon. He says, squeeze the lemon. He says, squeeze it. What's going to come out when you squeeze the lemon? Well, it's going to be lemon juice, right? The answer is whatever's inside. Whatever's inside of you is what comes out when someone puts pressure on you. And knowing what's inside is really important in how you deal and navigate through life. So those are the 9 types of intelligence. If we go to the next slide, we put intrapersonal and interpersonal together. This is what I just mentioned before. Understanding other people and understanding yourself is the key to having emotional intelligence. All right, man, he's on it again. You guys are good. There are 4 primary emotions. We all learned this in school, but with colors. What are the primary colors? Does anyone know? Okay, I don't even know, but I take your word for it. There's primary colors, right? And from those colors, every other color comes from those 3 colors. Is that right? 3 colors, okay. Well, there's 4 primary emotions. Just 4. Happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. When you ask a kid how they're feeling, they're probably going to give you one of these 4. They have a very basic, limited vocabulary and understanding of their own emotions. When you ask an adult the same thing, I mean, just get online and read comments and go on Facebook and you'll see. Some people have a very limited understanding of their own emotions. I'm just mad. Really? Is it mad? Is it really what you're feeling? Let's go to the next slide. Let's look at this. Here's an example. Fear and anger put together. What does that equal? Well, it depends. How much fear, how much anger. But here's one. We'll go jealousy. If you're jealous, you see, it's important to understand, if you're jealous, do you really understand why you're jealous? Are you afraid of something? Are you angry because you feel like you should have that? Are you afraid that you're never going to have that? It's important for you to understand. It's important for you to understand your students and your instructors as well. We'll go to the next one. How about this? Sadness, fear, anger. We put those 3 together, you'll never guess it. What is it? Frustration. Just as an example. Now, let's go to the next slide. We mix those 3 up. Same 3, different order, different amounts. This creates regret. I didn't make this up. This is through research. And it's very important. I think this is something that you guys can teach to your team. Something you need to know to be able to deal with people and label emotions correctly.